The last two segments we focused on structured folds. Today we're going to have a little bit of fun and we're going to work with folds that will take you into casual and social occasions. These folds work particularly well with silk squares, which produce a less structured look than cotton or linen squares. And they come in a variety of colors, prints, and patterns, so you can get a variety of different looks. They also work really well with both suits and sport coats. As I mentioned, with all of the folds that we're going to be doing today, a silk handkerchief works best because it drapes really well. And you don't want any of these folds to look structured at all. So the first one we're going to demonstrate is the puff. And the way you do that is place the handkerchief on a flat surface. You grab the center, pull up, and you'll see all of the points dangling. Draw your hand down, and then what you want to do is fold the bottom up, and it will look something like this. Then what I find easiest is if you twist your hand around the handkerchief just to hold it in place, and it will look something like this. So the true puff, the way it should actually be folded is with the fold in behind and the puff in front like so, but I just find it easier, it gives more structure if you actually wrap your hand around it. So the way it would be placed in the pocket is by simply pushing it down into the pocket. The edge of the puff should be facing out. You can position it again with a little more or a little less fabric showing, and it will look something like this when it's done. This next fold that we're going to be demonstrating is the reverse puff. Once it's in the garment, it actually looks the exact opposite to a puff. So again, you want to start with the handkerchief or pocket square on a flat surface. You will pull up in the center so that all 4 points are dangling. Then you draw your other hand down the center about halfway. You fold the bottom part over, and it will go into your pocket like this, and you always want the puff part in behind. The easiest way is to grab it like this, open your pocket, stuff it in, and again you can adjust it depending on how much fabric you want showing. It should never look structured. So this is an example of the reverse puff. The third fold we're going to show today is the most dynamic of the three folds, and it is what is called the dandy. And the way it's done is actually very similar to the two folds, but the interesting thing about this fold is when it's done, it actually looks like the puff and the reverse puff together. So the way you would do it, again, is by placing the square on a flat surface. You want to pull up in the center, again, so that all of the 4 points are facing down. You would want to draw your hand down and then fold the bottom over. Now, once you've folded the bottom over, it's going to look something like this in the pocket. But because we are using a patterned square, we really want to emphasize the pattern. So I'm just going to take the initiative actually and just wrap it over one more time so that we can really take advantage of the pattern when we put it in, and you'll have a little bit of the paisley pattern. You want to place it into the jacket, and you want it to be facing with the puff outward, and then it's just a matter of putting it into the pocket. You want to adjust the puff in front, and again you want the fold to be pointing outward towards the shoulder. And because we have a pattern on this one, we want to emphasize the pattern a little bit as well. With these folds, you never want them to look like they've been placed exact. You always want them to look like they've just been basically stuffed into the jacket. And there you have the dandy. Over the past few weeks, we've talked about several folds, so get creative and enjoy.